during that summer of 1980, when I was an exchange student in Hondabayashi, for a week they ran episodes of a show called Dokonjo Gaeru, kind of like Ballsy Frog, and they just ran them for that week. They ran, it was like 3 hours a day. It was like a whole chunk, and it was kind of mid-afternoon, early afternoon. And when I was watching it, I'm like, I can't wait to tell people back home what I am watching, because this is a show about this frog who's been flattened onto the front of the shirt of the kid who was chasing him. So she was chasing the frog one day, and he trips, he falls, and the frog is splatted on the front of this kid's shirt. And, you know, the kid feels bad for having flattened the frog, whose name is Pyonkichi. And so he wears his shirt everywhere so that Pyonkichi can still get out and see the world and stuff. And Pyonkichi gets him into trouble, and, you know, often sets the kid straight, because Hiroshi is no angel. You know, he's not a total brat, but he can get into trouble. And what's interesting about Dokonjo Gaeru, I should have looked up when it was made. It's early 70s. And this was another show where, kind of like Ashita no Joe was popular, so then Ashita no Joe 2, the movie release was popular, so then Ashita no Joe 2 was made and started in that fall of 1980. Dokonjo Gaeru was, had a sequel that came out in 1981. So here is a show that was done in the early 70s, and then it gets rebroadcast in 1980. Here's this, you know, here's a concentrated chunk of it. I don't know if anyone was watching the ratings or not, but, you know, now a new series gets made in 1981, which was called Shin Dokonjo Gaeru, or New Dokonjo Gaeru, New Ballsy Frog. And so it was just so weird. And the first series I thought was interesting in that it had, the characters had 4 fingers. They had 3 fingers and a thumb, as opposed to what you usually see in anime, which is 4 fingers and a thumb. So that was neat to see. And also, for its time, it was a real slice of life kind of thing. This was life in the late Showa period. You know, this is Japan of the 70s, and it reflected that world. It was kind of like the Shikamachi era. It was kind of like the you know, not the fancy part of town. The show was rebroadcast recently, like last year, on, I can't remember if it was Family Channel that ran it. And now it's interesting to see as kind of like a time capsule of what life was like at that time. And it's a funny show, really funny show, great characters. It's probably one of the more underrated shows that, you know, people may just think, oh, it's just a comedy thing, I don't want to see it. But it's interesting. If you're interested in Japan, definitely check it out. Plus, Pyonkichi is a hoot. So now I'm going to attempt to sing the theme song from Dokonjo Gaeru. This is also something that will not be pretty. Another one of those, you know, I would sing it once a year as part of the Anime Song Marathon. And so I'm going to take a whack at it this year. Dokonjo Gaeru. I gotta make it go up 6. Oh, but. It's a song so good they don't give out scores for it. And maybe that is just as well. Quick note, Dokonjo, it's my ambition in life to be Konjo. I want to have great Konjo. So when people see me, they go, Dokonjo. Back in the 80s, we started what Fred Patton wrote was the first multi-topic APA, or Amateur Press Association, and called it Dokonjo. And because I just thought that summed up what anime was, it's Dokonjo, that's what's cool about it. It's, sheer balls in putting some of this stuff out. So, there you go, Dokonjo Gaeru, and so on to the next, which will be, now we go to the nighttime portion of what was airing when I was an exchange student. So we will head on to song number 24.